Welcome to Living Freestyle. We're doing a game dev AMA Q&A. Basically work that's like office hours. I'm here every week, twice a week, Sunday nights and Wednesday mornings. The way this generally works is people hop in. If you have questions, those take priorities. If there are any questions that were posted in previous Q&As or AMAs, we go ahead and go over those. If there is nobody here or there are no questions, then I'm just going to basically be walking you through my thought process and stumbling on building a game. As a recap, currently I work at Riot Games in R&D. I get to do a lot of cool stuff at work, but there's a lot of cool stuff that I want to have time to play with that I don't get to do at work, and I figured it'd be fun to do, to stumble together through it together as we learn. So with that said, let's just do a quick double check and see if we have any questions. Going back to our previous Q&As, I don't see any questions in the previous Q&As. I did think I saw, yeah, it is time for a haircut. Like I said, we're gonna be seeing all of this stuff, right? When I need a haircut, when my haircut got buzzed and the whole bit. But anyways, thanks for hopping in, Jamie. Hope you're doing well. All right, so where we left off was we were struggling with trying to get some of our, and I'll bring up my screen here. We were struggling with trying to get some of our montages to play. And I'm not gonna say I cheated a little bit, but I definitely, I definitely did some work offline, and I discovered that there were a couple bits that we were missing, and it's got to be reasonable for me to do some work offline. Otherwise, this game's never going to get done. And so what I'll do is I'll kind of recap some of those things as I go. So what was specifically happening was we were trying to get our enemy melee characters to punch. And we thought we were activating the ability properly. We thought all of that was working. However, none of the animation was playing. And so after a little bit of research, I discovered that I don't think we had properly set up a layer for abilities or any other animation to play on top of it. So let me show you in the blueprint where that is happening now. So this is our animation blueprint. And what I've done here is I have just temporarily hacked in this slot ability group gameplay ability system. Ultimately, I don't think this is the right place. I'll show you why in a minute. But the overall point is I was trying to get this to show up visibly. And then also the way we got this even available for us is if we go to our punch, I believe we are using the punch right montage. Let me double check. Yes. And so what happened was in this montage over here on the right, you can see these are your ability groups or slots. These are your slots that you can work with. So we basically just had to add in the anim slot manager an extra slot down here for the ability. When I did that, that made it so that this slot would show up as something that I could drop into my animation blueprint. General gist is right now, if there's nothing playing in that slot, it's just going to pass the stuff straight through into our final pose. And then this is going to feed out. Now, what does this actually look like in game now? All right, so this dude's gonna come up and he's gonna punch. All right, so they're punching. Now, is this okay? No, not okay. They're kind of just punching the way they're facing right now. But I don't care, because what it is doing is they are actually, the overall system is working. We're calling a gameplay ability, which we made last time, which was to punch, that is happening. We're seeing the animation play and everything like that. Now, right now, it's not actually doing any damage. So what I'm thinking today is there's a couple things we can do. We can clean it up so it actually does damage just for fun. Or there's a couple things in here that I noticed while I was in there, while I was working over the weekend. One of the things that you'll notice is all of our ranged dudes now, they're using two-handed pistol grips, whereas our hero is using a one-handed pistol grip. And you also notice that he has a pistol. Where did all this stuff come from? So it turns out that in the animation system that we started off with as a baseline, it had in there a whole bunch of stuff for different kinds of weapon types that I had just missed. I didn't even realize they were there. So you can see here they have a pistol one-handed, a pistol two-handed, etc. And all of that is controlled on the, in this case, I believe it's the enemy. Let me see here, class defaults. Weapon, shoot gun. What was this called? Enemy AI placed in the world. Here, let me see if I can find it on the player character. Jamie, is the music too loud? Can you hear me all right? Using, running, standing, normal, loud and clear. Okay, cool. All right. Maybe it's on the controller. Let's check the controller. Player controller, class defaults, disabled, camera manager. There was somewhere in here where we were actually setting whether or not the enemy was one-handed or two-handed. Pistol. Let's see if pistol. Nope. This is gonna be weapon. Nope. Overlay. Overlay state. Yeah, here we go. So we have our overlay state. And in here you can see we actually have a bunch of things that I had completely missed when I was going through this. So here we have rifle, pistol, one-handed, two-handed, bow, torch, etc. And so the cool thing about that is if we come in here and we look at our overlay as a hero character, this is actually going to break some of the stuff we're doing. Right now I've got pistol one-handed, but what I can do is I can go to rifle, for example. And now when I play as the hero character, actually it looks like we're ignoring that for the hero character. So let's try that for the enemies. That's interesting. Maybe that is not our player. All right, enemy. Switch it to the rifle here. Oh, I've got to be setting it in the enemy spawner. Okay, so let's go do that because it's not set there at all. So if we go into our spawner, we edit the spawner. Play false, enemy, get location and world, enemy class. Interesting. Where in the heck is this thing getting set to one-handed or two-handed? Show side health bar, draw the debug arrow, overlay state default. Spawn the enemy, random integer. Oh, that's because it was the enemy ranged, not enemy. So here we go, enemy ranged. Our overlay state here is pistol two-handed. Let's change this to rifle. And now they should look like they're carrying rifles. The ranged ones, that is. Yes. However, they do not actually have the rifle guns in their hands. So we kind of broke that part of it, but that's okay. The point is there's these cool things in here that we can use, and even though they don't have a gun in their hand, it's not visible. We can't. They are actually shooting. Do we still climb up on top of people's heads? And these guys are still punching us. So let's try a couple things here. Let's see if we can get a punch overlap to read. So to do that, let's look at, we'll go back to our, who is this? This is our enemy. We're just gonna make this default. And in our blueprint, interesting. Where's all of our stuff? This inherits from this guy, but I'm missing a tab over here. I'm used to seeing the character's skeletal mesh and all those things. Hold on, let me close this down. It's gone. Window components? Yes. Somehow our components got nuked. Okay, components. We don't want the base character. I'm gonna worry about the enemy ranged. Here's the enemy. Okay, so component, if we look at this mesh, this is the mannequin. The mannequin has on it, I believe already, a physics asset. It does. So the physics asset for the mannequin has hands. So what I'm thinking is, there's a couple things we could do. We could attach a completely separate collision mesh or a box to the hands. Or maybe we could use the existing hands physics asset. This is called the hand right. So what I'm wondering is what is the quickest way for us to potentially test this? Here's our punch montage. And then we had the gameplay ability for the punch, or I think we had it melee attack is what we were calling it. This is the gameplay ability melee attack. And this inherits from the skill base. And it does no damage. That's okay for right now. So let's go back up. Just check this stream real quick. Yep. Okay. Let's see here. This is our gameplay ability base. I don't know why there's a new event graph in here. I don't think we need this one. So when this ability gets activated, it commits the ability, it plays the montage and waits. If it's on or after, cancel. And then if the event is received, we apply the effect container for HWZ gameplay ability. But the event that it's waiting for is montage? That's weird. I don't think that's what we want at all. I think that we want the advance. I think what we want is we want it to be the overlap of the hand. Player combo. It's definitely not player combo. Let's see if we're even hitting this spot. Yeah, it's never receiving that event. So that's not doing its thing. All right, couple things. Let's go down to spawning only melee, since that's what we're working on. And then the other thing that we want to do is let's just take it down to like 2, so we're not dealing with so many of them. And then since we know off the bat that we're not hitting this event, let's take a look at our projectile. As an example. So our projectile base, it commits the ability and then does a whole bunch of casting, hits the focal points, whatever, la-di-da-di-da. It spawns a projectile. The projectile goes firing out. And then if that's valid, does a line trace, sets rotation. And then if it's the server, we're gonna wait for headshot. Oh, interesting. And we're also gonna wait for projectile hit. All right. And then we're going to apply, if it's a headshot, we're gonna apply the game effect for heavy damage, and if not, so what we need to figure out is, okay, so then what happens is in the blueprint, for the bullets, I believe it is, bullets. Oh, I think I'm maybe formulating in my mind a plan. Okay, so in here, this is where we actually we come in, we hit the other actor, we do our hit flash, we set our hit direction, and then do a whole bunch of stuff. We get our instigator tags. Here we go. This is where we set an event tag of projectile hit, and then we take that tag and we make a gameplay event data. And with that gameplay event data, we eventually send this to the actor. So one way we could do this is what we could do is basically in the character's blueprint, whenever they do a melee attack, we look for overlap of the hand. If we get overlap of the hand, we generate the event data and we send that off. Interesting. It seems weird that we're specifying that information on the character as opposed to part of the gameplay ability, but let's try it for now. So in our enemy, I wonder on health changed, event actor end overlap, show damage amount, event destroyed. Okay, what I want to see is, do we have a begin overlap? Let's see here. Begin overlap. Event actor begin overlap. Let's try this. Get overlapping is overlapping. Box overlap. Let's see if there's a physics overlap. Physics. All right, here's what I'm thinking. Let's, in our mesh, just for now, let's add in a collision. Let's do a sphere collision. Let's parent it to the right hand. And let's make it much smaller. Let's go 20, 30, no, 15, 10. And let's translate it out a little bit. Okay, so if this guy is going to be what we're going to check our overlap for now. And then what we'll do is let's do overlap, begin overlap, begin overlap. Sphere overlap component, assign on component, begin overlap. I don't know if this is what I want. Yeah, I don't know if that's what I want. What I want is I want to know. Can I put this in the montage just out of curiosity? Sections, elements, notified. I don't really want this. Add event. Here we go. On component begin overlap. There we go. Cool. So this is going to be if we overlap that. If that's true, if the other actor, let's cast that to a player. And if that's true, let's print something. We'll print hello. Okay. So let's find an enemy. See if they can punch us. So he's punching, but it's not overlapping. So I'm gonna get a little closer. Okay, I'm not seeing it print. So let's put a breakpoint here. Okay, it hits it. The other actor is... Oh, interesting. Well, that's weird. The other actor is an enemy. Maybe the enemies are punching each other? Hold on, let's simplify this a lot. We're gonna go down to one enemy. Because maybe they're punching each other. And it's confusing the stuff. Wait, what? Ah, useless. Okay. Interesting. So I need to change the overlap type on this thing. Okay, hit me. Sweet, that's good. Now the other actor this time is the Animan, ALS Animan character BP. Okay, so we're testing for the wrong thing here. So let's delete this. Let's cast this to Animan character BP. If that's true, we're going to print hello. The other thing that I want to do is I want to change this sphere collision to only overlap pawns rather than all dynamic, because it was it was basically overlapping everything. All right, so let's play that. Resume. Hey, buddy. He's punching me, but I am not seeing that print hello. Oh, you know what? Maybe our collision type broke it. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, because... Okay, first off, no, we can't step on this. We're gonna definitely generate overlap events. And we're going to overlap... Let's try physics actor. Is that what we're looking for? Okay, it's punching, but it's not registering. So let's go back to all dynamic. Let's run this again, see if we even get our hello this way. There we go. Okay, so that's working. Why? Vehicle trigger, physics actor, pawn. I would have thought that pawn worked here. Let's try custom. Trace responses, physics body. World dynamic, no, we don't care about that. Physics body and pawn. Let's try those. Oh no, that's ignore. We want overlap. Okay, let's try this. Oh, we went berserker. There we go, that worked. Okay, cool. So now that we have that, what we're going to do is we're going to do what we were seeing in our projectile base, which was if we hit, no, in our bullets. Wait, was it our bullets? Make gameplay event data and send this. Let's do this. Okay. All right. Event tags. Let's just set this to be that's using the melee. There's our headshot. Let's just try adding event shared. Oh, I don't like this, man. Let's just try this though. Melee. Okay, so that's gonna be melee. The in other actor is going to be the instigator. That's the person who's doing it. And then the target is going to be the person that's getting hit. So the instigator in this case is self, because it's the enemy. And the person that's overwrapping is going to be the target. And the optional object in this case, we were using this for something. Oh, that was the projectile itself. We'll leave that blank for right now. And then this is going to send the event. And we get rid of this. And let's try this again, where we're going to use melee. Ooh, shared melee attack. I now have 3 different melees. I've got melee under ability, I have melee under event, and I have melee attack. So obviously that's going to need to get cleaned up. But the thing to keep in mind is we want to make sure we pick the right one on the other end. So let's compile this, save it. Save it. Now let's go back to our gameplay ability here. We're finally back to our gameplay ability almost. Skill base. All right, in this particular case, what we really want to do is we want to inherit whatever this is and get the tags. But right now, the tags we're looking for is a montage tag. That doesn't make any sense. What else inherits from this? So I'm right clicking and I'm just going to check the reference viewer to see who else is using this. Fire skill and melee attack. I'm not using fire skill. That's inherited from the ARPG sample code. So again, we're just trying to make this work. So I'm going to change this. What it's waiting for is it's waiting for melee. See if we can pick the right one, which I believe we're using the shared one. And melee. Cool. So play montage and wait for event. The event we're waiting for is the shared melee attack, and hopefully we can apply this effect container. So theoretically, now when we punch, we should hopefully be applying that gameplay event. Hey dude. Look at that. Heck yeah, dude. That's great. Okay, so we're definitely receiving the event, and then this should apply the container, but nothing's gonna happen now except for, oh, I hit a break in my actual code. I didn't even realize I had code breaks in C++. Okay, let's get rid of that, and we'll just continue. Continue. That looked like a crash almost. Now, that didn't do any damage. Why didn't that do damage? That didn't do damage because we haven't actually applied a gameplay effect to this gameplay ability. So where was that? At least I don't think we did. Here's the gameplay ability attack. And yeah, I don't see the gameplay. That's the cost. Here's our gameplay effects. We don't have it. So in here, let's just do, I'm not worried about the tag. What we want is use event data. And I believe we want just damage base. So theoretically, that will do damage now. Although our hero character is probably invincible. So I don't know if we'll actually see any damage. So let's remove the invincibility from this dude. Alice Animan, character BP. I think we put that in his initial startup. Here we go, invincible. Let's delete this. I should be able to take damage now, although I may need to die one time. Ooh, that's interesting. How do I die? Here's, I think the problem is all of the gameplay effects and everything are, the problem is invincibility is still on me because it's saved as part of the save game. So let me see if I can change invincibility. Gameplay effect invincible. And let's just change this to 1. This may be a better way to do this. Play. Okay. It does not look like it's actually doing damage to me. My guess is, okay, let's just double check a couple things. I think let's just bring in some ranged dudes. See if we can even get hurt now, to figure out whether or not it's the damage from our punch or if it's just that we're not doing damage. Hey, look at me, I'm over here. Why aren't you shooting me? Fight ranged. Why aren't you shooting? Okay, you shot me once. What is this guy doing? He's fighting ranged, but he's not actually shooting his weapon. Gotta love it. Enemy ability tree. Let's see where this dude's stuck. It is doing the shoot task. Okay. And in the shoot task, what's happening that this dude's not firing? Alright, he comes in. Friendly fire is false. And controlled pawn is an enemy. We set our aim forward. We're going to spear trace for objects. Cast to enemy. Wait, what? Cast to enemy. How's it getting... Okay, so what's happening here is when he's checking for friendly fire, he's doing a spear trace for objects, and somehow this thing that it's hitting is coming back as an enemy. And so setting friendly fire to true, so it's not actually shooting. The only thing I can think of that would cause this is if he's actually hitting himself with the sphere trace. Alright, that time he actually shot. That time he did not. He's got to be hitting himself. Okay, the other thing that's weird about that dude is he's not actually he's actually in default mode. So let's check his overlay. Maybe his weapon not being in front is causing the problem. The weapon's in the floor. Oh yeah, there we go. Now he's shooting. And it looks like... Oh, it looks like I'm taking damage again. Okay, cool. So we're back. We're back in business. Whew. What am I looking for? I am looking for... I want to turn those sphere traces off. Set that to none. Save that. Let's go back to our room. Alright. When the enemy shoots me, you can see my health bar moves. Okay, that's cool. So now let's go back to the melee dudes. Enemy ranged. Here's our spawner. Change these both back to just enemy. Let's play that. And then when we're in here, we should get his attention. He's punching. Alright, he is punching. He's hitting me. I should be damageable, but it is not doing any damage. So what I'm wondering is, in our base, what is coming through from this standpoint? Container tag. It is melee. Event data. Okay, there's something we're missing in here. So the bullets. Oh, there we go. Hold on a second. So we wait for the gameplay event. Oh, dude, we didn't even do like half the work, man. Must be tired. Okay, so basically we need to grab the payload, break the data, and it looks like that's if the other is equal to spawn projectile. Then we're gonna apply the gameplay effect to the target, and we're gonna report the damage and end the ability. So let's go back to this guy. Okay, we're going to take the... Oh, interesting. Apply effect container. I wonder, this may actually break our grenade, but we're gonna have to rebuild the grenade anyways. Get the ability system component. We're getting the ability system component from the target. And in this case, what we want to do is break this. So that's our target. And we basically just want to apply that. So I think we'll report the damage. Sure. Compiled. It's gonna work. Totally gonna work. Hey, buddy. It does work. Aha! Okay, so now we're getting damaged by the melee dudes. Alright. We successfully did something tonight. Okay, cool. So he's basically just punching us, and whenever he actually hits us with his fist, oh, look at this. So he's not able to damage me anymore. And I wonder if it's because there's a version of me floating way up there in the sky. Okay. Hold on a second. Okay, so he's damaging me the first time. Would you like to have a person called Chicken Gaming join the stream? Warning, it's very energetic and weird. Hey, Banana. It's kind of a weird question. Oh, do you mean like as in like a co-streamer? Yes. So Jamie says. Very confused. Jamie says, very robotic punch, no hip and foot movement while punching. Yes, you are right. This was a very quick hacked in animation from a prototype standpoint, just to see if we could get a custom animation to play, if we could do something like actually have it punch. Chicken Gaming. I'm not sure Hold on, let me check my levels. Chicken Gaming is saying that I was screaming pretty loud, but I didn't think my levels... They all look good. Okay. Anyways, but yes, it is a robotic punch, but that's okay because we're just in prototype. The other thing that's happening, I don't know if you've noticed, is once he starts doing this, all of his animations, like it broke for a little while. It took him a second to get to a point where he went back to his normal movement set. So the overall, the slot where all of this stuff is playing, I don't know that that's the right slot that we're eventually going to want to play this stuff in. But right now the dude is, you know, there's a couple of hitches, but we were able to test just that the overall understanding of how the gameplay ability system is working. We can do damage, we can play an animation, we can do all those things. So that loop feels better, right? Whereas before I couldn't do that. Oh, interesting. I don't know, do we need to choke the chicken? I don't know, man. This is new. I haven't seen anything like this before. Okay, cool. Anyways, oh, I remember what we were testing. Okay, so when we first come in, this dude is going to damage me. What we want to see is, we want to see after we die, when we came back, it no longer worked. Okay. So there my body goes. That's probably not a good thing. Probably don't want that. We'll have to fix that. Oh, now this dude's running away. Okay. See if this guy can do damage. See, he doesn't do damage anymore. Interesting. So let's check the melee attack or the skill base. See if we're even coming in here still. Yeah, he's not applying that. No, I'm pretty sure bots aren't a good thing. Chicken Gaming's asking if we want to spawn a bot. I'm going with no on that. Let's see here. Melee attack, projectile, skill base. We're not even getting to that point. So let's try this. Oh, we are playing the montage. But for some reason, we're never getting... Oh, wait. Is it because we're not ending the ability for some reason? I wonder if we're not actually... Wait. Do we want to this? On completed, we're gonna end the ability. That's fair. I'm wondering. I've never had Okay. I think we're gonna put you in timeout, chicken. That's the first time that's ever happened. We'll try a timeout. We'll see what happens with that. Okay. So what's happening is either the ability is not ending or something, because the second time, yeah, I did both the banana and the bot. Resume. 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 Alright. Resume. Alright, this dude's gonna kill me. Alright, and then after I die, come back. And then... Hello, egg. There's something fishy about this. And funny, because if the egg came from the chicken, this is well played. It's pretty hilarious. Okay, so what's happening is now we're hitting this, but we're never receiving. We're never receiving. We're ending the ability on complete. We're never receiving the overlap. Not Judge Judy. Hello. Seems suspiciously a lot like the last one. Well, that's gonna make streaming fun. Okay, so we're gonna end the ability. I want to put a breakpoint in our enemy VP, which I have. So this is the overlap. Hold on a second. Resume. Resume. Alright, this is the on component begin overlap. And what I want to know is the other actor. Player character BP. Oh, I see what's happening. Okay, so here, let's see. Let me show you what's happening. If we start this again, what's happening is when we first come in and he punches me, the other actor is an ALS Animan character BP. Okay? However, when I die... Come on, buddy. Where'd he go? Alright. Punch me. Alright. We may be solving two problems here. Okay, so remember I was ALS and a BP. So now I'm dead. Now when I come back, look at what happens when I come back. I come back and I come over here. Hey, where you going? Oh, he also didn't update his target. Oh, dude, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's going wrong in here. Alright, let me explain it in a second. I'll show you. And also my body's still flying around up there. Alright, so this dude is gonna come, he's gonna punch me. But there's no overlap that's happening. Why not? Well, because we're in here. When we do our overlap, remember it was ALS Anim BP before? Now it's player character BP. Okay, so the problem is what's happening is after we die and we come back to life, we're not coming back to life as the same character. We're coming back to life. We're coming back to life as a completely different character, which none of our blueprints are looking for. And so what we need to do is we need to go back to the game mode. I believe it's in the game mode that that happens, and we need to fix that. So let's resume, break out of here, and in our game mode. Oh, which one are we using? Project setting? Game mode BP is the one we're using for this project right now. And so when we look at this, we start the game, we're restarting the player, and we start enemy spawn. When we restart the player, we have target is game mode base. And it looks like that was part of, that's in C++. But let's see if there's anything in here that is actually not C++. Ignorant score, begin play, start game. Inside start game, we do our game progress, we restart our player, and so on. And then we start our enemy spawn. That gets all of the spawners and it sets the timer by function. Respawn player. Spawn player character. Possess, set startings, update health, mana bar, etc. Okay, ALS Animan character BP. Let's try this. Same experiment this time. So this time, where'd he go? Punches me. Let's see. Alright, I died. I respawn. Now, this time I should have respawned as a ALS player. Oh, that's the wrong button. Back, 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 back. Alright, gotta die again. Okay. There we go. He just did damage. Now, here's the interesting thing. He did do damage. But the person he's trying to here we go. Okay, that solved it. That fixed it. Alright. It's cool. But here's the thing. These bodies that go floating in the air, we should probably figure out what's going on with those. It's funny, but that's not what we want. Okay, so what happens when we die? Let's go back to our game mode and see if there's respawn the player event, delayed game initializer, start enemy spawn. For some reason when we die, we're not dying properly. So for our player character BP, we have the ALS Animan character BP, which inherits from the ALS base character BP. Event, what does M do? Oh, that toggles the mesh. Begin play, that creates all the weapons. Event tick. Okay, so let's check our default. Ragdoll hit react, hit flash. On health change. Health bar is alive. Ragdoll start delay respawn player. You know what's interesting? We do a ragdoll start, then we delay, then we respawn the player. I never see us destroying ourselves. Unless it's done in respawn player. No, it doesn't. I think all we have to do is destroy ourselves. So after the delay, and after we respawn the player, let's get a reference to the self. And let's just destroy ourselves. Destroy actor. This may be a quick fix. And if this works, we will always know how to bring back the funny floating dude in the air. Okay. Alright, let's take some damage. Alright, we die. We came back. And we can take damage. Alright, sweet. Dude, that's pretty good. So we fixed the problem where, you know, the character was still surviving and flying off into space. That's actually been around for a really long time. I just never took the time to look at it. I think what's happening with our death is we're actually the camera is somehow getting separated from the body. So we're not going to solve that one tonight because we are actually out of time tonight. So for everybody who hopped in, Jamie, always good to see you, dude. Everybody who hopped in, thanks for watching. I will be back at it Wednesday morning. As always, if you have any questions, throw those in the chat. Questions take priority, and we'll go ahead and see about answering those. Next time, I think what we'll do is we will take a look at... I haven't decided yet. We'll take a look at it. We'll figure it out from there. Sweet. Have a great night, everybody.